sorry. That was not a good fade in, but we are what we are. Okay, Jeff Bosley, A Day in the Life of. It's going to feel a little contrived for a minute or here. We had some technical difficulties and lost probably about 10 minutes of amazing entertainment.
You're a genius. It was beautiful.
It was actually good stuff, but I'm pretty sure Alicia and I can pull this off. So on that note, my first guest of A Day in the Life of is Alicia. We touched on this prior to the Mac deleting my life. Alicia, I've since forgot, thank God. So it's legit. I genuinely, Alicia Baruti, even though you'll see her on the internet as Alicia Ferguson Baruti.
Yes, but it's only on Facebook that it's hyphenated. So
Even on IMDb?
No, I don't think so, because someone asked me about that, and I was like, no, don't hyphenate it, but maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah, but...
I think I have, like, one IMDb credit, so let's not really,
okay, I'm whipping out the iPad
No, that's not necessary.
To vet her.
No, but I did it hyphenated on Facebook so that people that knew me from high school would still be able to find me.
There you go.
But Baruti is not a very common last name, so I kept Baruti.
Odds are.
Exactly. I'm like, there's only 2 Alicia Barutis in the world, and one of them is a Brazilian soccer player.
Is she black or white?
She's white, but she's from Brazil.
It's not a racist thing, because I've helped a lot of people with IMDb, and I have a friend. Alicia and I made this commitment, I guess you could say off air. No names will be used during A Day in the Life of.
That's right, we will change names.
But there's a girl I know in Los Angeles named Misty Clearwater. That's nowhere near her real name. She's not a porn star. She is not a porn star. But I use the joke, you know how they say something like, use your mother's first name and the street you grew up on? That's actually that's where I just pulled Misty Clearwater out of my backside.
That was quick.
So let's say her name's Misty Clearwater. I'm really good with IMDb, and she asked me to do that. And I was like, well, why? Your name's right here. And she goes, click on, as we're saying, Misty Clearwater. The Misty Clearwater I know is like a 5'2", 80-pound, little skinny white girl with long brown hair.
So she's 5'2", so she's perfect.
For those of you
keep going.
For those of you who don't have a visual on the audio podcast, Alicia is also 5'2", and perfect. I clicked on Misty Clearwater, and this was a not 80-pound, maybe at a 2 in front of the 80-pound African American. So clearly not the same Misty Clearwater on IMDb. So that's why I asked if you're.
So she wanted
it corrected. Yes,
she wanted it corrected. Gotcha.
Because it did not help for casting when she applied for roles that were not that.
Yeah.
So that was a side note. Anyway, so anytime Alicia and I do this show, we are going to call it Hippie and the Caveman. It sounds like a crazy morning zoo radio show, and for all we know, this is the first episode, so for all we know, that's what it'll turn out to be. But the reason we call it Hippie and the Caveman, the reason, I will explain why I call her a hippie, and she can correct me and step in if I'm wrong, and she will, I'm sure, and she can explain why she calls me the Caveman. So I, as the pessimist, I don't like happy, emotional, soulful, we're connected in the universe, happy, it's all good, it's for a purpose. I can't even, it's making my life, I think I'm actually having a stroke right now. But her and I met, we'll get to that later, and she just exemplifies. No, actually, she doesn't exemplify a hippie, because the cliche and the stereotype with hippie is like patchouli oil, smells like dirt, and no concept of shaving or razor blades or anything like that. So she does not exemplify the hippie in the traditional.
I feel like you're putting labels on people.
I know. But there's going to be a lot of disclaimers in these future episodes of no offense.
No offense.
So it makes it okay, like the
No, but I am a hippie. I mean, and I tell people that I'm a hippie with better shoes.
Yes, and I've seen the shoes, and I'll vouch for they are the opposite of Birkenstocks.
But I'm all about like living in the moment and what you're feeling, and
all the stuff I
and
feel.
Letting the sunshine hit your face.
I don't even know what that is. I go out like a vampire.
You do this vampire. You totally do.
I walk outside, I'm like, oh god, the sun, and I run into my car that has like ultra tinted windows because the sun is bad and optimistic.
Like your cave.
Exactly. So that's why I call her a hippie, more because I mock her emotional in touchedness with the universe and people and happy. I mock it, but I genuinely do. As a disclaimer, I do genuinely appreciate her optimism and her enthusiasm. She is absolutely the yin to my yang when it comes to happy thoughts and things happen for a purpose, and I value that.
Sure.
I can't embrace it by any stretch of the imagination, but I try.
I feel like you do, maybe just a little bit. I feel like you smile now.
You wouldn't be here if I didn't.
Exactly.
I mean, therein lies the proof. So that's why I call her Hippie, and why are we calling me the Caveman?
Well, because, I mean, you clearly are. I mean, aside from the fact that your knuckles track on the ground.
Coming from the 5 foot tall midget.
No, but we kind of are like the odd couple. I mean, we're not a couple, but I'm saying we're like the odd couple because clearly you're like 6'6", military, lifetime NRA member, all muscly, and I'm this little 5'2". I want to feel the grass beneath my toes.
And I'm like, oh, that's so dirty. Why aren't you wearing shoes?
Why aren't you wearing shoes? Which leads me to the bumper sticker that I saw today. That reminds me of you.
So confusing, but yes,
no,
continue.
It's not confusing. I saw a bumper sticker today.
I'm writing it down this time.
That says, bare feet, not bare arms.
And the spelling of bare as in naked, like B-A-R-E.
Yes, as in I want to wear bare feet so I can feel the ground.
But what's the naked arms, bare arms? What's the implication of
the
naked
right
arms?
to bare arms?
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I said this before my Mac took a poop on me. I thought she was talking like bare arms, like tank tops.
No.
That's and again, I said this, I got to keep saying that. Like that exemplifies to like the epicenter of the confusion between hippies and whatever I am. I say my bumper sticker says, "I will shoot you in the face if you rob me." No interpretation needed. It's like NRA life member, rob me and I'll shoot you. Hers has all these synonyms and antonyms and homonyms and phononyms. And
first off, I don't have any bumper stickers. However, I'm all like, I'm not going to shoot you. I'm just going to give you a hug.
Exactly.
It's true though.
Exactly.
It's true though. If someone...
I'm sorry you're robbing me, man. Let me give you a hug.
Yes,
that's cool.
That is probably what happened. I would want to connect with that person because I can understand that there's probably a reason why they feel like they want to rob me, and I feel like if I can connect with them on a human level, maybe we can get to the root of that and we can have a conversation about it.
So basically, if you choose to mug or rob Alicia, you just chose to mug Dr. Phil.
I'm probably going to give you a hug.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but you know what you said about if you rob me, I'm going to shoot you in the face. I always have this feeling when I walk up to your house. There's always part of me that's wondering if it's booby trapped. I'm not joking.
My house, for those of you who don't know, I hope you never will, quickly rented, don't care, I just want a roof and a floor and a place to like sleep. And it definitely, actually, this is news to you, I talked to my neighbors, who I've lived here a year and a half, and I just met my neighbor across the street.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa, what am I single? I went over and introduced myself, and they had said this house actually was a crack house. She's in real estate. I never told Alicia this. The woman across the street is in real estate, and they actually got involved and asked the cops to kick the people out, the tenants to kick out. But yeah, this was a crack house, and it does look that way on the outside. There's signs that say.
No, that's not why I think it's booby trapped.
Why?
Well, because first off, when you approach the porch, the light starts flashing like a strobe light.
I can't turn that off.
Then there is a sign out front about like you shooting people, isn't there?
It says, my dad gave me this, thank you Dad, I love you, for Christmas. A sign that says nothing inside is worth your life.
Yeah, exactly.
I.e., you steal my stereo, evaluate your life.
So I'm always wondering if it's booby trapped. I'm like, wait, am I going to hit the tripwire?
And it's funny because the woman that takes care of my dogs, she'll text me and say, is your house disarmed? As in the whole entire house is going to go like Transformers on her and crush her skull. So
it wouldn't be surprising.
I do have a lot of guns and alarms and infrared sensors, but only because I live in a crack house. I'm worried whoever will come and collect. They're gonna come and go, hey, we gotta go collect. Wait, that's not the same guy.
That has nothing to do with the fact that it was an ex-crack house. That's just the way you are. Come on.
A little bit. It's Uncle Sam's fault. So we go on a tangent. Alas.
And here we are.
So yeah, Alicia Baruti. Baruti is a name, not a clan. In Avatar, to me, it sounds like some sort of gnomes people, like some sort of tribal group of people that'll.
Nope.
Nope.
Just a name.
Just a name.
It's Italian.
Really?
Yeah.
God. Okay, so we'll touch on this. She's from Canada. Mm-hmm. Don't hold that against me.
Hey. That is what makes me awesome.
It is. She is unique that way. It helps my. I get a tax credit for interviewing. Just kidding. Interviewing nationals.
You get a tax credit for being friends with immigrants.
Exactly. I have an illegal in my house right now.
No, but I am an American.
Yeah.
I'm full Canadian and I'm full American.
Yeah, see.
But I don't have loyalties to anyone. It's the whole hippie thing.
Yeah, she hugs all.
One love.
I think I just had another stroke. And I might have pooed a little bit. So, we'll get on to we're going to try and keep this. We're already up to 11. Holy crap, 11 minutes. This is epic. So, how Alicia and I met, this is where the Mac crapped out on us a minute ago. But we remember it distinctly differently. She refreshed my memory, but I'm still confused. Like, we were at an audition, and I'm this way pretty much everywhere outside of places I have to socially interact. Headphones, and I don't look at people. Which, as the 6.5 foot tall guy hanging out in the corner with headphones on, can justifiably be presumed as this guy's an a-hole, kind of into himself, pretty cocky or self-centered.
Sure, but I mean, your looks kind of play with that. Like, if you looked like the creepy guy with no social skills who was
Quasimodo hiding in the corner.
Hiding in the corner with headphones on, people are like, oh, that's weirdo. But when you're this, like, beautiful, tall, built, muscly man, when you're in the corner with headphones, it puts off this, like, I'm too cool for school vibe.
So thanks, Mom and Dad. I can't wear headphones in a corner without being judged.
That's what happens.
And so that's what happened.
No, but so anyway, yeah, so we were at an audition together. And I saw you there, and you were hot, and so I friended you.
I was hot. I've since been a burn victim.
No, but so I friended you. I reached out, and then.
So thank God to social media, like it's such a beast. I have such an issue with that. But yeah, it did. It brought us together. She's from the same city I'm in. We both commute to other cities to audition for movies and all that stuff, and. If I'm wrong, you reached out initially to say, hey, let's be friends. And I was like, the whole Facebook thing said, hey, we're friends, we're in the same city, we have the same friends. Mm-hmm. And then I, for some freak reason, had the guts. I probably was just looking for gas money. I was like, cool, she drives a lot.
That hurts.
Well, that's in my brain, that gave me the guts to interact. Like, I had to have a logistical reason. It
wasn't even because I was cute?
No, I mean, a hot blonde. No, pause. Some hot blonde connects with me. I don't look at it like she is attracted to me or wants to talk to me or interact. I'm like,
because it comes to women.
I'm the quantity of social ineptitude I have when it comes to this is unquantifiable. There's a lot of syllables in that sentence. But basically, I was like, cool. She must want to ride to the same city. We drive in. Let's meet. So we met, and. We had coffee at a local, not even the Starbucks, it was just a local coffee shop.
Yep.
It was...
Support small business.
Yeah. Hippie.
Yes.
I'm all like, let's go to Starbucks and support the man. So we meet there, we talk, we have a great time, we interact, and probably don't... Correct me if I'm wrong, my memory is crap, because I am a male, I will admit to that. Like a week, maybe 2, 3, maybe a month goes by. And out of the blue, I'm making a trip to Los Angeles for a bunch of job interviews. I have a bunch of stuff lined up. I have a family member that lives there. I'm trying to do the math. It's easier to drive. I can stay there, X, Y, and Z. And I was like, well, for some reason, when I'm alone in a car, pulling out of my driveway, I have a narcoleptic attack and fall asleep.
Fall asleep.
But if I accompany in a car, which we later proved on the trip I'm about to tell you about, I can go for like 19 hours wide awake. So,
true story.
Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but like after not even talking for a significant amount of time, I'm like, hey, want to go to LA with me? I know we just met. You have kids. I'm a complete stranger to you. I was the guy hiding in the corner that scared you. Let's go to LA and get trapped in a car together. And is that more or less?
No, that's
went?
basically. I mean, we did hit it off at coffee.
Yeah, we had a blast. It was a great time.
We knew we would be friends. And I think that we shared some mutual experiences. We're both divorced, and we talked about that, and we hit it off, the actor whole thing, and you were like, hey, you want to drive to LA? And I was like, okay.
Yeah, it sounds like a line, but no, it wasn't.
No,
I really needed somebody to just keep me away.
No, and the thing is that I think that our friendship has been, really, it's been based, because, people say that guys and girls can't be friends, but I think you and I, we always knew that we were never going to, we were ever going to be a thing, because you never wanted children, and I have 3 children, and I'm a hippie, and you're a lifetime NRA member.
On the flip side, her children are awesome.
Of course they're awesome.
They're, freaking cool. But before we go on, I actually thought of an idea. So, regular shows that call this a commercial break, I'm going to hit pause and save. Genius.
That's a good idea.
So, yeah, the conservative OCD Excel spreadsheet guy in me is going to hit pause and save.
See, I would never do that because I wasn't feeling it.
The universe didn't tell Alicia to hit save. So
it's true.
Enjoy the pause just a minute. Recording. That's going to sound like a butthole on your guys' side. Sorry. So anyway, we paused to save because we put a lot of work into this.
That's right.
So we met. I asked her to go to Los Angeles.
And I agreed to get into a car with a total stranger.
Yeah, which as a male, people are like, high five Jeff, hot blonde getting in a car with you on a long distance trip. And I'm sure, I would say this to my own sister, like if my sister was in Alicia's pants. Alicia's pants.
Alicia's shoes.
So.
Isn't it funny how, they're both articles of clothing, but they mean very, very different things?
I'm not even going to explain it, so anybody that knows my sister and our relationship, they'll just enjoy the joke, basically. So anybody that was if my sister was
in Alicia's shoes,
I would be like, I would tell my sister, and a little disclaimer, we're changing all the names in the following consciously. So any family members or friends that are listening that think we're insane, it's a conscious decision to protect your anonymity.
Right. All names have been changed.
Yeah, so my sister Lynn, where I pull these names from are beyond me. If my sister Lynn called me and told me, hey, I just met this guy on Facebook, he was creepy in a corner at an audition, we met for coffee in a public place, and now he wants to get in a Chrysler 300 with really blacked out windows and drive to quote-unquote Los Angeles with me, i.e. drive south near Mexico. What are your thoughts? I would, A, tell my sister no, and B, if she followed through with that, I would make the male not exist on the planet. So, to Alicia's credit, and it's probably her hippie soul. It is. It is to her hippie soul. I would like to think a good guy, trustworthy. She read into it, and it was.
And I could sense that. I knew that. I was almost positive you were not going to stuff me in the trunk of your car.
And that was.
Which, however, you kept threatening.
Well, okay, so here, bullet number 2 on my notes. Do you hear that in the background?
He's crossing
That's
out.
me scratching out the next note. So, this actually ruined a relationship in college. A girlfriend of mine. I have to take deep breaths to woosah these moments.
To get through the story.
I had an amazing vehicle. It was like a traditional farm boy jacked up off some huge mud tire truck. And we lived in a city an hour out of Seattle, and Seattle was the place to go on the weekends. But because she sang to the radio, I always offered to drive. And when you drive, you automatically have the. I disagree. I don't think the passenger has the right. I think the driver has the right to choose the music, and that was the law I instilled. Was we're listening to my music. It's my vehicle, and I'm driving.
Sure.
And since I didn't tell her way early in the relationship that I hate when people sing to the radio, this is 4, 5, 6 months in our relationship, and it was too late to bring it up. So every time we're in her car, she's singing along, and that is, what's the right word, pet peeve or utter hatred?
I think it's beyond pet peeve.
Yeah, there's no word. It's like Batman and Joker. I wanted to destroy anybody that sings to the radio. Not because I hate them. I didn't pay them to put their music up. So I always offered to drive this extremely expensive vehicle that sucked down the gas just so we could listen to Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson.
So that she couldn't sing along?
She didn't know the words. And finally, during the tail end of our breakup, she realized, I told her, during a fight, I was like, I hate when you sing to the radio. She's like, why didn't you tell me earlier? I was like, why do you think I listen to Marilyn Manson?
Yeah, but this could all just be resolved if you talked about your feelings. No, but you made
I need
that.
a sound key.
You made that disclaimer very clear before we got in a car
That's
for
actually
like
true.
19 hours. You were like, just so you know, if you sing to the radio, I'm probably gonna like punch you in the side of the head, which I kind of believed, because the entire way to California, I was terrified about singing to the radio. I actually was legitimately afraid that if I sang to the radio, you were going to stuff me in the sleeping bag that you kept threatening and put me in the trunk of your car.
There was a running joke, and I meant it to like lighten the mood, which obviously backfired. I had a sleeping bag in the trunk. I'd do the whole like over preparedness thing. I have like MREs in the trunk, and I have a sleeping bag for if it gets cold, because we actually spent the tail end of Christmas break and New Year's Eve and New Year's in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. So I had a sleeping bag in the trunk, and it's one of those things, like, if my style, if you will, of comedy is to address the elephant in the room in such a manner to lighten the mood. And if you're not aware, or you just met IE at a coffee shop 3 weeks earlier, it's terrifying.
No, I actually was never really afraid that you were going to put me in a sleeping bag.
To Alicia's credit, it wasn't terrifying, but for me, I'm always pointing out the elephant in the room. I'm like, man, you know that sleeping bag's in the trunk, and I have a lead pipe.
It did become a joke. Get in the sleeping bag.
Yeah. So she'd start like being happy and optimistic and all this other bull crap, and I'm like, if you keep singing, I will put you in the trunk of the sleeping bag. So that was our running joke,
but truthfully, by the time we were on our way back from LA, like 2 days later, because it was this really quick, crazy turnaround trip, by the time we were on our way back, I wasn't afraid. And not only did I sing to the radio, I rapped.
Yes, and for anybody that wants to know, on the iTunes, my podcast page, on the iTunes page, comment and ask for the link, or I will do it myself. She wasn't aware I was recording, and
that's true.
I can't even. There's no words in the English dictionary that paint the picture of basically me just staring at her, watching this little white, cute, blonde Canadian. What was the song?
It was Jay-Z and Kanye.
Say no more.
Exactly.
A white blonde Canadian
Paris.
saying Kanye. So she's rapping to that, and it is, to her credit, epic. But had she done that for the entire drive down and up, the sleeping bag thing would have been true. I would have buried her somewhere in the Mojave.
Come on, I'm fun.
No, and that's the thing, is that she seems, none of it was bad. It's just a hang up in my chromosomal design.
I'm the yin to the yang. Although you have claimed that you don't even sing in the shower, and I don't believe that's true. I think that everyone sings at some point.
Oh,
There is a time. There has got to be a time when you are alone in your house and you're feeling it, and the music is up, and you are singing and you are dancing.
Well, and here's the thing: is my house is wired like I will not cohabitate with anybody for a long time, probably, because the longer I have my own house with my poor little dog. Izzy.
She's sleeping.
Okay, I was worried my dog was dead. Sorry. Well, she almost died earlier. I have a right to be worried. I literally wake up, I have this amazing man remote control, very marketed towards the male cliche. You press a button and the world, like every single, like if I had automatic curtains, like everything would happen. Like I just press this one button, everything is set to awesomeness. And I wake up in the morning, my alarm goes off, I press a button, it goes straight to Pandora, it goes straight to this playlist I have. I love music every waking second of my life. I have headphones, I have my car, I have Pandora in my car. I love music 24/7. But I will never sing
believe you.
Journey. Like the most known, what is it?
80s.
No, when you go to a bar and sing, I just blanked.
Karaoke,
Jesus. The most famous karaoke song in the world, I Don't Stop Believing, could be playing. I would. Alicia can't even control herself. I could feel it, but it would end at my soul. It would start at my soul and end at my trachea.
I would end at your trachea.
It would not go past my voice box. I can't. The minute if I can't. I've sang at karaoke once. And that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, did you ever do musical theater? Did you ever sing?
Yes. I have been cast in many a musical.
So that means that you do sing. It's in there somewhere.
I was desperate for a role. And I will pat myself on the frickin' back. It was The Dentist in Little Shop of Horrors. Like, that's fair. Huge.
Yeah.
But because I can't sing, the director's like, well, we're going to do this a little speaky rather than musically.
A little speaky.
So it's rather than like this.
Which is code for you can't sing.
Exactly.
That's funny.
So they admitted my weakness there.
You know what my qualifications are for music? Is that it has to make me... Hey, come on. It has to make me either want to sing or it has to make me want to dance. That's how I judge music by.
That's pretty
Whereas
vague.
you probably judge music by, does it make me want to punch someone?
On that note, we're going to pretend to go to a commercial break and hit save so we don't go lose all this awesomeness. Okay, yes, we are back. There are waveforms in my GarageBand.
It's funny how you said if you're going to pretend you're going to go to a commercial break, because we had talked earlier about who would actually sponsor us.
Who would sponsor us? NRA, maybe. No, because rarely do I brag or pat myself on the back. I don't exactly fulfill the whole gun-toting America.
Really? Because I'm pretty sure.
But at the same time, I do, but I don't. So I don't like.
Okay, I don't know if this is off limits or not, but I'm pretty sure that when we went on a road trip, you have a underdash mount for your handgun, and you put a second passenger side underdash mount just in case you were going to let me drive so that you could have your gun on the passenger side. Did you really just say I don't fulfill the gun-toting American stereotype?
Going to California, I have a license to have a lot of guns, and you never... Okay, I had this argument with my sister. Now we're getting all political, so welcome to Hippie and the Caveman politics, a day in the life of. But the very first shooting before the school one, before the theater, I want to say it was at a Walgreens or something in Arizona, like a senator or congresswoman, like an Arizona congresswoman was shot. And my argument, my sister and I have had this debate. What was my sister's name in our Lynn.
Lynn.
My sister's name, Lynn. Her and I have had this debate many a time of, everybody says that's absurd, you're overreacting, it would never happen here. I looked at it I'm guaranteed, and I said this before even the Arizona, I'm almost sure it was Arizona Walgreens and a senator was shot there. Scenario of everybody says it'll never happen there, then it happened at a military installation, at a post office or something like that. Mm-hmm. Then the theater in Colorado, and then the school shooting, and obviously just keeps on going. Anyway, soapbox be damned. Basically, but then again in California, when we crossed the state line, or before we crossed the state line, which was creepy as poop. Well, actually, this podcast is explicit. We saw this. It was almost like we were crossing into Mexico. There was actually a border patrol gate thing, so I had to pull over in the creepy Chrysler 300.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Because we were asleep.
I was not asleep then. I was fulfilling my duties. I did not fall asleep until we were within LA proper, and you were falling asleep at that point too.
We should have died multiple times. Anyway, the gist of it is, yes, she's right. I do have multiple Mad Max gun mounts in my car, so I could not so much to protect me, but I did my
sorry,
my Green Beret, ex-Green Beret site survey, pre-deployment site survey of, okay, we're going to California. There's a lot of carjackings. I'm not scared for my life. I want my car because I love this car.
You're not scared for Alicia's life?
Well, no, and I will protect Alicia to the death because she's my Canadian sister, which I don't know if that's valid, but it's as close as you can be.
Sure.
So I mounted all these awesome holsters, and if I had let my ego subside to the point where I let her drive, I could transfer said holster to the passenger side.
Which you did on the way back. You let me drive.
It was, yeah. Did I make... I made it all the way to L.A. I mean...
Yes, you did.
Define make it.
Define make it. We were both, literally on L.A. freeways nodding off.
We would pull... I want to say it was a 19, 20, 21, 22-hour drive. Sure. Straight through.
Yeah.
I was trying to save money, there was a whole little disaster with the family that let me stay in Los Angeles, and this actually cost me more money than I was trying to save, so it really, really, truly backfired.
But it was an adventure.
Oh, Jesus. It was an adventure. But basically, my ego fueled me to drive straight through, to never ask Alicia for help, to never take a nap and let her drive. So my logic was, I'll pull over to the gas station while I'm in the driver's seat. Hey, we're going to both take a nap, a quick power nap, drive. But then that was sound thinking 3/4 of the way through. But then towards the end, where poor Alicia, she has no stimulus, i.e. like driving, using pedals, working the radio or the steering whheel, to stay awake. So that's actually harder as a passenger to stay awake.
It was bad.
So towards the end, we would drive like 3 minutes.
And we would both be falling asleep.
Make it to the next exit, pull over at some creepy gas station. I probably definitely should have my gun, but because we're in California, all you can do is throw a bullet at people at the most. So the gun's in the trunk. We would take about a 30... the ratio, we'd probably take a 3-hour nap, drive 3 minutes, take another 3-hour nap, just on sheer male ego to make it to the hotel.
Which is, once again, brings us back to the fact that you're a caveman. Because a more evolved man would be okay with letting me drive his car.
Exactly.
Let's be honest.
Exactly. So this is the Hippie and the Caveman, Jeff and Alicia biography, basically. So I guess a little quick background. This is a little random and a little maybe possibly late. The reason we're even doing this is a butt kissery here. I will plug this on his Twitter page because Kevin Smith, the guy that does Clerks, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I can't even think of Ben Affleck movie.
Everyone knows who he is.
But a lot of people
Chasing
don't.
Amy.
Not Chasing Amy, but the other one with Ben Affleck
Wasn't that a Kevin
where
Smith
he
one?
met J-Lo.
That was a Kevin Smith one?
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I do know because she dies in
it. Like
Jenny
5 seconds
from the Block.
Yeah, 5 seconds into it, she dies.
Oh, I can't remember what that movie was called.
I
need to IMDb that shit.
Well, she's going to IMDb it while I continue rambling. So basically, in a Kevin Smith movie, he did a cop out with Bruce Willis and who's the guy from 30 Rock? Black guy.
Oh, Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
He rips on himself all the time and says it's one of his worst movies. I love that movie, but I guess he had a bad experience with Bruce Willis. But anyway, to Kevin Smith's credit, he the reason I'm doing this podcast, A Day in the Life of A Day in the Life of gives me pretty much carte blanche as to I don't really have to commit to a genre or a topic. So I say A Day in the Life of anything. Secondly, I listened to he and Jason Mewes, the guy that plays Jay in any of the movies, any of the Kevin Smith movies.
Okay, yeah.
Jason Mewes. He plays Jay. Kevin Smith, the director, always plays Silent Bob. I religiously, every day getting ready, showering or whatever, driving, they keep me awake while I'm driving when I leave my parking lot. Kevin Smith, every day when they're doing their podcast, long story short, Jason, did you find it?
It's Jersey Girl.
Jersey Girl. And he rips on himself. Have you seen that?
I have, but I don't remember it.
Okay, so Kevin Smith, if you ever, please God, listen to this, you rip on yourself for that movie. That is actually an amazing movie. Ben Affleck does a commentary on that.
Okay, but that's only because you have a crush on Ben Affleck. Please, dear God, let it be Ben Affleck.
I do have a slight actor/man crush on Ben Affleck. However, but we'll get to the Batman thing in a minute. However, there's a commentary. God, there's like 9 sidetracks here. Ben Affleck does a DVD commentary in Jersey Girl, and like any actor in the world should listen to this. Like no matter what your opinion of Ben Affleck is, he actually has an astounding perspective on what he does. So, little plug there. But anyway, the reason I'm doing this, Kevin Smith and his partner Jay, the guy that plays Jay in all his movies, Jay in the movies is based on Jason Mewes in real world. Every week when they do this podcast, he actually plugs, hey, anybody go home, do a podcast. It's free. It's like you want to take a basketball, go to a hoop and shoot hoops. As opposed to making a movie, which is like playing football. You need pads, you need an entire team, you need all sorts of wazoo stuff. He goes, do a podcast. Who cares if people listen? Get a friend, sit in front of the microphone, and just record it. People might listen, they might not. So I honestly, hate...
Here we are.
There you go, yeah. it felt like a self-help book, but after a while I was like, F it. I've heard him say this countless times as they plugged this movie Jason Mewes made. I was like, screw it, what's the problem? And actually, I had an introduction thing, and I'm not patting myself on the back, 211 hits just on my introduction to A Day in the Life of by Jeff Bosley.
Wow.
So
giddy up.
Getting
job.
Getting a hot blonde Canadian, chica is going to totally awesome, make my ratings awesome. So anyway, that's why we're doing it. I don't know what started that, but so that's the reason we're doing A Day in the Life of. Is really honestly as lame as it sounds, is because of Kevin Smith. I constantly hear him, and I listen to. Don't get creeped out. I listen to the podcast while I'm in the shower, or getting ready for the day. I start with the shower. So Kevin Smith while I'm in the shower, bathing myself. You have told me many a time, sit down and make a podcast. And I was like, F it, why not?
No, that's really great. I think I like that. I like that. Kevin Smith told you to do it.
The voices told me to do it.
Kevin Smith is linked to Ben Affleck, and you would do anything that Ben told you to do.
I won't lie. I do. I like women. However,
would you switch teams for Ben Affleck?
No.
Okay.
If it got me famous, yes. If it got me, but temporarily. There's a difference between switching teams.
Sure.
And temporarily switching.
Fair enough. No, but that did become a thing on our road trip. It was like the running joke that, dear God, let it be Ben. Yeah. And I don't even remember the context of it.
A car could cut me off. I'm like, it's okay if it's Ben Affleck. Please, God, let it be Ben Affleck.
Please let it be Ben Affleck.
But there's actually, on one of my websites, again, right hand to God, Ben Affleck was screening Argo. And I'm really actually honored and proud to say that this is before it got all these Oscar nods and all sorts of amazing credentials. I actually got to see a screening in Telluride, Colorado. It was actually a rough screening. The credits weren't done. It was actually kind of choppy in editing.
Wow.
It actually wasn't done in post-production. Basically, Uncle Sam, you and your Army Special Forces Green Beret world got me into the Telluride screening of Argo because basically, if you act like you know what you're doing and wear sunglasses, which is pretty much all of Army Special Forces... You can get anywhere. So I went to this crappy screening Q&A that was free at a Telluride Film Festival. And because it was so secret, I had to keep checking my cell phone, hitting refresh. It said at the last second, okay, the next screening is Ben Affleck's Argo. And so I went to the bathroom, but it was 2 hours later. And I, to prove it, because I know nobody would believe this story in the future, I actually went to the toilet, sat on the toilet for 2 hours. I took a nap on the toilet. Because basically they emptied the theater. It's like any kid that goes to a movie, pays for one movie and spends a day in the movies. You hide in the toilet, go back to the movie.
Yeah, I've never actually done that before, but keep going.
You haven't lived until you've done that. So I went to the toilet, hid for 2 hours, and when I heard a crowd mulling about, I just kind of casually, I acted like Mr. Hollywood. I had a really nice cufflink shirt on, and I looked very quote-unquote Hollywood.
Well, you can pull that off.
I know how to act the role, and I kept my sunglasses on inside, which is you're supposed to do that, right?
Which is classic. I'm too cool for school, which leads me back to why
she was creeped out at the trauma audition.
I was not creeped out. I was intimidated. I really was. I was intimidated. I thought that you were too cool for me. Until I realized that you were
the skin suit. I always told Alicia I'd wear her as a skin suit if she sang at the radio.
Which is really creepy, but apparently it's funny.
To Alicia's credit, she still gave me a chance. So the Telluride Film Festival, I hid in the toilet, heard a crowd milling about, put on my sunglasses, and acted like I was on a cell phone. And just where you're supposed to have a lanyard with a VIP pass, and I found out these tickets were several $100s. So obviously, because it's Ben Affleck screening. Found out he was going to be there with what's his wife's name, Jennifer Garner. He's actually going to do Q&A with some LA reporter. I just acted like I was supposed to. That's the biggest thing. And anybody that wants to do anything wrong, act like you're supposed to be there and wear sunglasses. It's
and you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's 99% of being a Green Beret. It's that cool.
You're giving away America's secrets right now.
I'm going to be killing you. So I just went in there, acted like I was on a cell phone, sat in my seat, literally right behind Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner.
I didn't hear this story
Really?
before.
Oh, this is awesome. Yeah. So I sit in there and I'm on my cell phone, or acting like I'm on my cell phone, and anytime when a security guard looks at me, I just, act like I'm too busy and too cool to talk to him or make eye contact. So, and I have a hoodie covering my lanyard. So you can see the lanyard, which implies at the bottom of the lanyard is the $400 or $500 I'm allowed to sit in Ben Affleck's movie ticket. And then Ben Affleck goes up, oh God, I love Ben Affleck. He goes up on stage, introduces the movie. He's actually very self-deprecating. He's a really funny guy. I fall in love with him, but then I realize I'm standing like 5 feet behind Jennifer Garner, and I'm like just staring at her. And then they whip out night vision goggles. Like they actually have night vision, so if you're using your cell phone, it'll give off the light will pick up on their night vision because they don't want any bootleg copies of Argo.
Sure.
So I obviously put my phone away. Anyway, the long story short, I get to watch Argo in one of his very, very early pre screenings. I do a video diary while I'm in the toilet waiting for Ben Affleck. The reason
that sounds so shady.
In the toilet, in the stall, waiting for the 2 hours between the free movie I went to versus the $500 movie I went to.
But that's not what you said. You said I was in the toilet waiting for Ben Affleck.
Yeah, it's like a lot of glory holes.
And you wonder why you're single.
Damn, I've heard that 4 times in the last 48 hours at least. But basically, and this is so random, is the reason... Alicia and I joke about this, and we'll get to the topic at hand. Well, there's no topic. The reason I actually give Ben Affleck and Matt Damon a lot of credit is where they came from, what they've done.
Sure,
a lot of people compare Matt Damon to Ben Affleck, tomato, tomato, whatever. They started from scratch. They busted their ass. They were these poor boys from Boston, and they actually mock themselves in their own movies. They actually mock themselves in Kevin Smith movies about Good Will Hunting too.
Sure.
And it's awesome, and I love it. And I love that self-deprecating awareness of their careers.
Absolutely, and I do. I have a lot of respect for both of them as professionals. They really did. They busted their butt. They proved themselves. I think they're both incredibly talented. I still don't necessarily agree with the Batman casting, but whatever.
So, on that note, and a good segue, we'll take a break and go to traffic and hit save real quick on the podcast.
A word from our sponsors.
A word from our sponsors, in which we don't know who they would be yet.
The Lollipop Guild.
And the NRA. Okay, so we didn't have any words from our sponsors, no Lollipop Guild or the NRA. However, a little behind-the-scenes honesty. It's now... just under 20, it's to say about 24 hours later because technology pooped on us yet again. And we lost the last 15 minutes of awesomeness again. So we're trying to pick up where we left off. Basically, I think we were getting ready to talk, Alicia mentioned Batman and Ben Affleck. Mm-hmm. And true to my promise I just made off the air, your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts first.
On him as Batman?
The woman, or from the female perspective.
I really, really liked Christian Bale as Batman, and I understand that he's not coming back, and so they had to do something else. But I'm afraid to say this because of how much you love him. Ben Affleck does not seem tough enough to me to be Batman. Batman is a badass. Okay, he has no superpowers. He's kind of dark and twisty. Yep. He kicks ass and takes names, and yet he's like the smooth ladies' man. And quite frankly, I've never really been attracted to Ben Affleck, which is also a problem because... Get off my show. That's why I made the face. I'm a little afraid because I know that you kind of have a thing for him and all. So, I will give it a chance. Of course I'm going to watch it. I'll give it a chance, but my initial reaction was a little bit no.
A little bit no.
No.
Well, yeah. Well, my thoughts were in the shortest I could. First off, the reason we brought it up, and the reason Alicia is maybe segued into it subconsciously, is 2 to 3 weeks prior to them casting or announcing Ben Affleck was cast. I just had this weird foresight. I had a guy Photoshop. I was just really bored, and I had this wild hair at my ass to create a hashtag campaign. And for those of you who don't know what that is, or if I might have just made that up, I wonder.
A hashtag campaign? There's no original ideas.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't try and give yourself credit for something like that.
Okay, an idea I've yet to hear of.
Reverse.
Is that if you create a hashtag thing, now that Facebook accepts hashtags like stinking Twitter, you can create something that creates a keyword and creates buzz, if you will, and people click on it, and it's off and running. And I wanted to create a hashtag campaign. I'm going to trademark that because I think I'm the only one that's done that. It was hashtag Jeff Bosley as Batman, and it was just meant to be a joke, just kind of silliness, and I'm sure it still will end up being just that. However, so I had to Photoshop my face into the cowl, get rid of Christian Bale's face, and it looked pretty badass, I won't lie. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I have an awesome Batman face. And I created a little campaign.
You're so humble, too.
No, I said thank you, Mom and Dad. I didn't do anything for this. I just came out of the womb. The rest is history. Anywho, it was like 40,000 hits strong of that picture.
That's really, I mean, that really is impressive.
Yeah.
Clearly you have a much better following than I do.
You don't have a hashtag campaign.
I don't have a hashtag campaign. You need to make a
hashtag campaign.
Well, and let's be honest, women tend to be a little bit more, like, obsessive maybe than men are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
Well, take someone like New Kids on the Block, or we'll go all the way back, like the Beatles, or Justin Bieber, or any of them. Like, women latch on to someone and then they go nuts.
I see what you're saying.
Men don't usually do that. So
That's
sure,
true.
I may have some male fans, but they're not like, it's just not the same as
we talked
female
about
fans.
on another show, Gym Law. Girls can come up to a guy at the gym. Guy can't come up to a girl.
Sure.
Because it can be construed as creepy.
Absolutely.
So if you had a couple 100,000
male followers?
Friends, yeah, exactly. A male follower automatically just sounds creepy. A female follower is like, high five that dude.
Yeah,
he has a female follower.
All that to say, and that's not to say, I'm sure you have lots of legitimate fans that aren't just like Lonely Housewives that are like, oh, Jeff Bosley.
Whatever brings the business.
I'm sure you have some legitimate fans, but I'm just saying it's more likely that 40,000 hits, there was a lot of Desperate Housewives clicking on Jeff Bosley as Batman.
That's true, but I'll take that.
And you'll take it. What is the phrase that you always say that you would do? You would do bad things to
the punch baby things?
No, well, that's a good one too. That you would punch babies. For the record, have you ever punched a baby?
I won't. I would never punch a baby. I would find a human being that does that.
I'm just making sure. No, but what is it that you say? I would do bad things to good people for that.
Yeah, that's probably stumbled out of my mouth.
Stumbled out of your mouth.
Yeah, I can't take credit for 98% of the things that come out of my mouth, good or bad. Anyway, the gist of the Batman thing was that. I guess if you listen to shows, there's a lot of shows that are totally against the Ben Affleck thing. I actually saw a campaign, like a huge, what's the thing you sign and get people to sign the list?
Petition?
Jiminy Christmas, yeah. So a petition floating around the internet to get rid of him. I mean, like, people are avidly against it. So
they succeeded in that, though. I mean, the studio clearly is going to benefit from that, good or bad. Yes. I mean, because you have all the people that are going to see it because they're pissed off about it, and then all the people that are going to see it because they're excited. And I mean, really, any buzz is good buzz, right?
Exactly. Now I remember all the stuff we went over, and it was way. It's actually a good thing that Mac took a crap on us, because then we got into director debates. Who produced what show?
Oh, that's right. Because I thought that Christopher Nolan directed the new Superman one, and you corrected me on that. But he's a producer on it, something like. I know he was involved.
He was in all the Batman ones. Obviously, the director.
Yeah, he directed the Batman ones. But you didn't. All this to come back to the fact you didn't actually say why you're so excited about Ben Affleck as Batman, other than the obvious. Other than the obvious. Dear God, please let it be Ben Affleck.
What was my reasoning?
I don't. Okay. It's your reasoning.
Actually, jealously speaking, I'm not excited. There's a lot of arguments. Some people that are against it actually wanted a no-name. I'd heard prior to them announcing Ben Affleck, before my little hashtag campaign, that the way the studios wanted to do it was to use Henry Cavill as the draw, because he's established a name for himself. All the ladies love him.
Mm-hmm. And yes, we do.
There you go.
He's on my top 5.
So I'm sure there's got to be somebody out there that doesn't know, but explain top 5. Or is that a no-go?
No, it's fine. No, I mean, I'm not married anymore, so it's still the top 5, but at least when I was married, it was these were the top 5 that if I met them and had a chance, like, you would have to understand. Like, let's be honest. Like, you can't hold that against me. But I still, it's the top 5. It's the 5, like, good looking. I'd hit that.
And I would give you that. I mean, if I were her husband, I'd be like, yeah, well, why not?
But yeah, Henry Cavill's in the top 5.
So Henry Cavill obviously would be the name draw for the future Superman versus Batman movie. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people argued to have a no name as Batman because it would just be bad. It'd be better to let the guaranteed guy go. And so as a little wannabe guy like myself, I was a little jealous about that because he's obviously not a no name. And they wanted an older guy too. And I think Ben Affleck, bastard, looks younger than the older guy they wanted. They wanted the age, like for the super nerd, their comic book needs, super short. They wanted to do the tail end of Batman's career. Like he's beat, he's exhausted, he's not an alien, so he does age. His knees get bad, and Ben Affleck I think still exudes youthfulness. I think Ben Affleck gets out of bed just fine. I get out of bed and I want to go back to bed.
How old is Ben Affleck? I mean, he's in his 40s.
Yeah, he's in his 40s. And again, I'm kind of going against my argument. I think they should go like to a 50-year-old, like old. Like had George Clooney not ruined it in the other Batman,
well, yeah,
he'd actually be kind of a cool concept.
But I feel this is the thing though. I feel the same way about George Clooney as I feel about Ben Affleck. He's not tough enough. He can't play tough. Yeah, that's he's not tough enough. He's not dark and twisty and tortured enough. Christian Bale is clearly dark and twisty.
Yeah.
Like...
For those of you who've not seen American Psycho, go rent it. It's dark and twisty.
He does dark and twisty, so...
So, yeah, that's that on Batman. Enough of that. That was the biggest reason we brought that up. And I guess, really, we'll just now quit listening to my voice and let Alicia... The reason we know each other and have got along and all that is she's in the whole acting entertainment world, and it's always a rule at the end of anything to plug yourself and say what's going on, what you're doing. And we have to mention the X Factor because for those of you who've never seen her sing, I'm not kissing her butt. I didn't say this last night and I meant to. She has some videos of her doing covers and they are actually gorgeous. They're awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That'll be $5 at the end of the show.
$5. Yeah, no, I did. I'm not bound to my confidentiality agreement for the X Factor anymore. I made it through a few rounds and got axed, but I mean, I was pretty satisfied with it. I went down from a group of 5,000 down to a group of about 150 to 200. So that's, nice little bit of validation, but I did not get to continue on. But, so I've got some YouTube covers out there on the interwebs for your listening pleasure. If you're into that sort of thing, you can just go to YouTube and Alicia Baruti is my page.
Gotta spell it.
Alicia Baruti, Berruti. So yeah, there's some of those, and that's the singing stuff, which is mostly just fun. I feel like I'm kind of a hack at that, but anyway. But yeah, for the acting stuff, I've got a couple really awesome projects coming up that I'm really excited about. We are kind of already in production on a movie called Trauma, which is a psychological thriller. Allison, who is played by yours truly, Alicia Baruti, Berruti.
It's like one of those insurance commercials where they have like a horrible jingle, but it is ingrained in your brain.
That's forever. Right. It sticks in there. You're going to remember how to spell Baruti. So Trauma, it's a psychological thriller. Allison wakes up after a car accident in the hospital and has no memory of the accident, and things kind of start unraveling before her, and she starts to question and think that her family is lying to her, and there's all sorts of exciting twists and turns to be had. If you want to check out the website, it is Trauma the Feature. And we're really excited. We're going to start shooting this fall. We already did a little bit of some test shoots and get to work with some really talented people. Eileen Agosta is the director on that, and she just does incredible work. And then this fall, I'm also starting on another feature called Feast or Famine with Lewis Leslie of... I just forgot his production name. That's so bad. That's why I have notes. Hold on. Let me pull up the notes. I don't remember what the production company is. Anyway, Lewis Leslie, very talented director. That's another, it's a post-apocalyptic one. So it's kind of another like psychological one with some twists and turns. And that project is called Feast or Famine, and we're I'm going to start rolling on that this fall. So it's really exciting. Get to work with really talented people, and obviously films are kind of why we all do this. Commercials are great, and they are. I mean, commercials are great. They pay the bills, but it's a lot more fun to jump into a character and really dive into it. And
there's not a lot of character analysis when you're selling butter.
Yeah, exactly. Selling butter. Have you ever sold butter?
No, but I can imagine there would not be any character analysis to sell butter.
Fair enough. So yeah, that's what I've got going alongside all of the other.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is
3 kids, and
that's the thing that makes Alicia a candidate for Superwoman. Single mother of 3. I think 16 jobs at last count, and still does all this acting and butter commercial paying jobs. She's never been in a butter commercial.
I've never done butter. No.
That is now forever going to be a running joke. So that is why she is definitely unique amongst many. So,
well, thank you very much.
Oh,
it's a lot of fun. I like to stay busy and keep it interesting, and do something different every day. And
however, she really ticked my dog off. She was playing with a laser light. My dog is mad.
I know.
She's the sweetest dog, and she actually looks angry. So that's probably the only downfall of anybody that's fallen in love with Alicia over the last 56 minutes. She made a happy dog sad.
Oh, but she'll be fine. Once we're not recording, I'll wave the laser pointer again and watch her climb walls.
She'll attend to my dog after this. So I guess that's almost an hour of you guys listening to us, so thank you very much. I already uploaded part 1. We really appreciate it. This is pretty cool. Now the last little bit of conclusionary crap. If you have any questions or comments or awesome show ideas, or you even want to be a guest, I can do call-in stuff. There's no rules to this. A Day in the Life of was pretty much a cop-out, so I didn't have to commit to any sort of genre or topic. So I can pretty much do anything I want. There's go to the iTunes store and just do a search for my name. And I'm the only podcast that isn't a religious-based one. I don't know the other Jeff Bosley, but apparently he is. He really loves God, and that's awesome. So, or you can email me, podcast@jeffbosley.com, spelled like it sounds, podcast@jffbosley.com, and I'll get your email there and all that crap. So I appreciate Alicia taking time out of her 3 kids, 16 jobs, 4 acting roles, and the scores of male followers to come back and re-record the last.
Entourage.
Yeah, she does have. We'll leave that little cliffhanger.
That's for another day.
Yeah. We can let Alicia. We'll go into the love line, the love line version of the hippie and the caveman love line. But I appreciate her coming back a second time.
Thank you for having me.
This, and God willing, this keeps going and everybody loves it. So thank you, everyone.